Adam, the White Hair Master. Season 2. Episode 30. After solving some trouble happening in the suburbs, Adam received an offer of help from the police. Of course, Adam accepted the offer. So as soon as he got back to the city, Sarah took him to the police station to meet her friend. As soon as he knew that Sarah had brought Adam, Sarah's friend immediately greeted them and took them to the reception room of the police headquarters. Sarah's friend introduced herself as Lee, and after a few polite greetings, Lee started to get to the point. He immediately asked Adam if there was a way to bring a dead person back to life. When asked this question, Adam was quite surprised. It should be known that police officers are usually people who have little faith in spiritual things, so Adam used science to answer Lee that this is not possible. It seems that Adam's answer did not satisfy Lee. He went on to ask a lot of other questions regarding bringing a dead person back to life. Lee's questions gradually made the person sitting next to him feel dissatisfied. This person was the director of the police department, Lee's immediate superior. Faced with the attitude of the two opposite him, Adam had to tell in detail what he knew related to the issue that Lee was wondering about. According to Adam, there is a way for a corpse to move. There are even many methods. But Adam emphasized an important point. Although the corpse can move, it is not alive because it has no soul. To the best of Adam's knowledge, he had never heard that someone could bring the soul of a dead person back to their body. Given what Adam had just said, he believed that Officer Lee would give up the idea of reviving a dead person, but Adam was wrong. He continued to ask more closely about what Adam had just said. This made his boss sitting next to him sometimes wince. Understanding that if Adam did not give Lee a satisfactory answer, he would definitely not give up on this matter, Adam patiently explained to Lee again. Accordingly, after a person dies, their soul will leave the body and begin to be reincarnated. There are many cases where souls after death, for some reason, cannot be reincarnated but become ghosts. Of the two things, only one can be done between preserving the soul and preserving the body. Even if you can do both, it is impossible to bring the soul back. After a moment of silence, the director of the police station spoke up. From what Adam had just said, he told Lee that what he was after was a myth, with no basis. As a capable policeman, he discouraged Lee from thinking that way. After sighing for a while, the director started to get up and walk out. After walking a few steps, he stopped and said to Lee, he gave him 3 days. In these 3 days, Lee must find a breakthrough in the case he is investigating. If there is still no progress, he will hand the case over to someone else. Then he went out and slammed the door. Ignoring the director's unpleasant attitude towards him, Lee began to briefly tell Adam why he asked Adam these things. Next, he showed Adam some of the information he gathered during the investigation. Before opening the screen so that Adam and Sarah could see the images related to the case, Lee warned Adam and Sarah. Accordingly, the information that he is about to show 2 people are classified as unpublished inside information. If they are leaked to the outside, all 3 people present here will undoubtedly be prosecuted and imprisoned. Sarah immediately promised that the 2 would not tell anyone about this, showing a complete understanding. At this time, policeman Lee started to open the screen in front of the 3 people. Several pictures immediately appeared, and he began to quickly explain each photo. Accordingly, this case began in 1996. The main culprit was the masked man, Casson. From 1996 to 2013, Casson murdered a total of 16 women in brutal ways. Casson's victims are diverse and do not have many related characteristics. Some victims were even killed by Casson and then removed all the internal organs. Throughout his criminal history, Casson always wore a strange mask to hide his face. Although he committed a serious crime, but it was not until 2014, when the criminal engineering industry had made great strides, that Casson was arrested and brought to light. Immediately after his arrest, Casson confessed to all his crimes. He was sentenced to death and shot not long after. Everything seemed to have ended there, but an event happened that shocked the investigation team not long ago. According to Lee, Casson somehow came back to life and carried out a series of similar cases as he did many years ago. Hearing this, Adam suddenly interrupted Lee. He thought that some sick person had imitated Lee in his crime. This was also normal and not strange. Waiting for Adam to finish speaking, Lee began to speak. He said that, at the time of receiving this case, he also had the same thoughts as Adam now, but the collected evidence completely disproves this. According to Lee, he was not the one who directly encountered Casson, but a friend of his, also an inspector of the police department. At the time of this strange incident, Lee's friend was investigating a case related to the recent disappearances in the city. During the investigation, Lee's friend got an essential piece of information from a woman. According to what this person said, next to where she lived was an apartment block under construction and was abandoned. Recently, she noticed that people were often sneaking around in this area. Realizing that this building has many suspicious points, because it was a perfect hideout for criminals, Lee's friend came to inspect the property. Right from the first moments of entering the house, Lee's friend noticed something unusual. A fleeting stench caught his attention immediately. The further inside the building, the stronger the stench became. Very quickly, Lee's friend realized this was the smell of a decomposing corpse. With his own experience, Lee's friend quickly found the area emitting the smell of corpses. He carefully approached it. Although he had been to many crime scenes and had prepared himself in advance, but Lee's friend couldn't help but be shocked at what he was seeing. In a room filled with trash were the bodies of 4 women, who died in dissimilar positions. The cause of death is also different for each person. No one is the same. Looking up at the surrounding walls, Lee's friend also discovered that there were a lot of blood scribbles. When witnessing that scene, Lee's friend couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat because of the killer's savagery. He quickly called the city police department to send someone to assist. At this moment, a shadow quietly appeared behind Lee's friend. The newcomer is the perpetrator who committed a terrible crime here. In his hand at this moment is an extremely sharp knife. Without hesitation, the killer quietly approached Lee's friend and swung his knife at him from behind without a sound. Fortunately, before the blade dropped, Lee's friend recognized the killer's presence. He immediately dodged to avoid the fatal slash in the moment of life and death. Although he was able to avoid it in time, Lee's friend was still slashed by the killer's blade quite deeply on his left hand because of the surprise. Immediately, Lee's friend raised his gun and fired consecutively at the killer. Because of the close proximity, the murderer had no chance to resist or dodge. He was repeatedly stabbed in the chest by bullets. After being hit by the bullet, the killer did not cry or show any pain. He just staggered and kept backing away. Just like that, he backed up to the window and fell out. Witnessing everything that happened, but Lee's friend could not hold the murderer back. After the killer fell out, Lee's friend went over to check on his condition. As soon as he looked down, Lee's friend realized that the murderer's fate had been decided. With such a high altitude, no one can survive. He started calling the police headquarters to call for reinforcements. Very quickly, the police were dispatched to blockade and examine the scene. But there is one thing that no one can explain: that the murderer's body has disappeared.